Hello, everybody. Welcome into UFO Fantasy Football. I'm Jackson. That's Finn. And today we are talking about our Week 7 stars of the week. Not
Rebranding it.
stars.
I like
You
it.
know, we're a space show, so gotta do it. And just gonna do starts this week. No sits. Just a little easier on our part. But let's just get right into it, huh? Who's your quarterback start of the week there, Ben?
I'm going with Joey Burrow this week versus the Falcons. So, Falcons looked good last week against the Niners, but still, on average, allowing about almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns a game to opposing quarterbacks. Burrow has been obviously had a great game last week, over 38 fantasy points. He had 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown last week. He's got over 24 fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 games. Finally got Jamar Chase kind of going last week. So T. Higgins now another week healthy.
Yeah, should be fully back.
Hopefully. Should be. So I'm liking Burrow this week. Good matchup.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. My guy for the week is going to be his first game since week 1, Dak Prescott.
Wow.
But he has the Lions. And I don't know if you remember 2 weeks ago what Bailey Zappi did to them, but I think the Cowboys are a little better than Bailey Zappi. I think
Dak, nice way to come back.
Yeah, I think Dak's going to throw all over them. And I don't think it's going to be a very close game.
All right.
How about running backs?
Yeah, so my first guy, I got a couple of rookies here. These guys have just been going off. Well, I had Breece Hall last week, which was a pretty good call, I believe. Dameon Pierce I've got as my first guy. Going in against Vegas. They're like middle of the pack against running backs, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, they're just going to give Dameon Pierce the ball.
Yeah.
I know that I think the head coach there just said he wants to get him at least 20 touches a game.
Yep, I was just going to bring that up.
Yep, I mean, in the last 3 games, I think I see 20 carries, 14 carries, 26 carries, 6 targets, and 5 targets in each of the last 2 games. I think he scored a touchdown in each of the last 2 games, each of the last 3.
Wow.
And I mean, over 80 yards in each of those games as well. So, I mean, he's just kind of checks all the boxes. He's just like their clear RB1 and someone you can just put in your lineup every week and feel good about it. So,
yeah, he's a solid RB2 every week with the potential to be an RB1 every single week. I'll stay in that same game. Actually, I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs as my start of the week. I was actually leaning towards Pierce as well, and then I saw you chose him, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll go with this guy then, who has been absolutely tearing it up somehow. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And
over like 30 points twice this year, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane what he's been doing. And now he gets the Texans' horrible run defense. I mean, if he doesn't put up 30, I'll be very shocked.
Yeah.
Who's your second guy there?
I got Ken Walker. Last week is his first opportunity to be the main guy. Had 21 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Also had 3 targets to go along with that. Going against the Chargers this week, who I believe is the 4th worst against a run.
Yeah.
I see that being a nice high-scoring game. I kind of like some of those Seahawks and Chargers. I still think last week's Seahawks Cardinals game was just weird.
That was so strange.
More of an anomaly. That should have everything about that should have been high scoring, so that was kind of weird. But I think it gets back to high scoring game. Ken Walker's going to be heavily involved. So
yeah, I can see it. Do you think DJ Dallas will be involved at all?
He wasn't too much last week. I had picked him up in one league, taking a flyer on him in case they were going to surprise everybody and do kind of like a 60-40 split, but they did not. So that's gave me a little more confidence with Walker. But
yeah, I picked Dallas up in one league today just because Hollywood Brown went on IR and there was no one else to pick up really. So hoping for just a little bit more production from him.
Yeah.
My second running back is going to be Mr. Aaron Jones against the Commanders this week. He's been kind of crappy the last few weeks. Definitely has not given the value you thought he would, being a second round running back. But I think this is going to be a get right week. Commanders are like bottom 7, I think, defensive wise, and the Packers need to figure something out, and they are not giving enough to the running backs. I think.
Mhm.
I think once they do that, they'll start being like, "Oh, we should have been doing this the whole time,"
Right.
and then keep going with that.
Yeah.
And I will also have an honorable mention for Kenyon Drake this week. I had him in there, but it's if J.K. Dobbins really misses. The Browns defense, the Browns run defense is not superb.
Yeah. It's just Kenyon Drake. I just don't know. I just can't believe in him. But
it's hard to do.
There's been a lot of weird things this year that don't make sense. So
yeah, like Kenyon Drake and Latavius Murray last week.
I mean,
who would have thought?
I know. I heard a little bit about Latavius Murray. That was his second game technically with the team, but Melvin Gordon getting one carry or one snap. I don't know what's going on there. I'd also like to give an honorable mention to the Cowboys running backs against the Lions, and we're going to be talking about the Cowboys a lot. But yeah, Lions horrible run defense. I like Zeke and Pollard in this game.
Yeah, but absolutely. Zeke finally flashed last week, and hopefully it'll continue.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Let's pivot to wide receivers here. Who was your first guy?
CeeDee Lamb.
Wow.
Versus the Lions. Maybe we stacked too hard here. Again, we kind of did this independently. You picked Dak, I picked CD, but that's Dak's guy, and he's back against the Lions again. But CeeDee Lamb's had over 8 targets in every game. He had a couple with 10 and 12 targets. Hasn't been doing too much in the yardage department, but it just feels like a game where he's going to get, 7 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown or something like some stat line like that. So I like him here.
Me too. I love him. My first wide receiver this week will be Mike Williams against the Seahawks. Also horrible defense. Last week I said sit him. He only got 2 catches, I think. That Broncos defense is just so good.
PS2 shut him down, right?
Yep.
Like you call, it was a good call. Yeah.
So I think this week, I think they're going to come out guns blazing. I don't know if you saw this stat with Justin Herbert last week. He's the first NFL player in history to throw 57 times and not throw a touchdown.
I actually did see that. Yeah. That is not going to happen again.
No, I think it's going to be the exact opposite. I think they're going to score so many touchdowns this week, and at least one should be going Mike Williams' way.
Yeah. I hope Keenan Allen comes back. That's a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah, I think their bye week is next week. So I wouldn't blame him if he just sits out until week 9.
Yeah, he's screwing me. Okay, so I got a little bit of a deeper pick for my next receiver. I'm going Alec Pierce for the Indianapolis Colts, going against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee, surprisingly, in the bottom 3 against the pass this year.
Yeah. 4.
Bottom 4. Yeah, that might be right. Alec Pierce has gotten in his last 4 games 7 targets, 9 targets, 6 targets, and 5 targets in each of those, scoring over 12 fantasy points in each of those last 3 games. So maybe not, again, this is deeper, but I think he's going to put out a solid performance again, and someone you can kind of count on to get you maybe 15 plus points this week. So I like Alec Pierce.
Yeah, he's been killing it. They finally have a second receiver that can do something.
Yep.
My second receiver is going to be Brandon Cooks this week. Also, going back to that Raiders-Texans game, the Raiders' pass defense is just not that great, and Brandon Cooks is like the only guy that Davis Mills throws to. I just think the volume is going to be there this week, and I think he could be a smash this week.
Okay.
I thought about putting Davis Mills as a possible quarterback start, but that's a little too deep for me.
That would be a star in deep space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's many galaxies away.
Yes.
And then I also have a honorable mention for the receiver position. Wan'Dale Robinson is definitely worth a look at. He played his first game since week 1, I believe, last week. He only had 15% of the targets, or 15% of the snaps, and he got like 12 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So he's going to get healthier. He's going to get more snaps, and he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on that team. That is 5-1 somehow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'd like to call out the Bengals wide receivers as well.
Absolutely.
Burrow, but
yeah,
like that a lot too.
All right, let's end it out here with tight end.
Tight end. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel great about it. I'm trying not to go chalky without Mark. I don't want to pick Mark Andrews. I'm not gonna pick Kelsey. Zach.
Mark Andrews actually also did not practice 2 days in a row.
I did see that. That's concerning. I need to pick up Isaiah Likely. It could be a nice sneaky little pickup.
It's very likely he's out there.
Yes. I'm going David Njoku. He's kind of been my guy all year long. Going against those Baltimore Ravens. And Ravens have been middle of the road against tight ends. As their defense or defense against the pass looks really bad in the rankings, but the last 3 weeks they've actually been pretty decent. So this is not the reason I'm picking them. It's just David Njoku is one of the few tight ends that does get relatively consistent targets. He's had 6 to 10 targets in each of his last 4 games. So I just feel like, the opportunity is going to be there for him. And it's slim pickings with these tight ends. So I'm gonna go with Njoku.
All right. I like it. My guy this week is going to be Gerald Everett, kind of for the same reasons as Mike Williams. It's just I really think the Chargers are going to come out very strong against the Seahawks this week. And I said there are going to be multiple throwing touchdowns. I can see Everett getting 1, Mike Williams getting 1, maybe 2. I don't know. I just think the passing game is going to be very good this week for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And someone I kind of want to mention, Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
He's been terrible. He's been hurt. But he was okay when Dak was healthy in the first game.
Yeah.
They're finally back together, both healthy, hopefully, because randomly right before the game last week, Dalton Schultz was a healthy scratch. They just coach's decision.
It's kind of weird, though.
Very strange. But
I'd like a little more info on that.
Yeah. But he could be on the waiver wire right now, so just keep an eye out for him because I've seen him in several leagues get dropped. So
really?
Yep.
Okay. And I kind of like Daniel Bellinger for the Giants.
I picked him up in one league as well.
Yeah, I've got him he's a pretty cheap option on DFS.
Absolutely.
So I'm a little sneaky if you're trying to gain some value there. I think he had five catches last week or something like that. And
and a touchdown.
Kind of don't know what you're going to get with the Giants pass offense. Who's going to be that guy. So he's an option.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. All that jazz. Follow us on the socials that are ticking down there. And until next time, see ya.